are. Good morning.
There you are. And a jolly good morning to you as well.
Very jolly good morning. 3 hours in. Thank you very much. I'm 3 hours behind you, so
Oh, yeah, right. It is early morning there.
it is like 3:30 a.m. Bam. Awake. So, how are you?
I'm very good. Thank you, Carolyn.
You're
How are
amazing.
you?
I am really well. Thank you for
Yeah.
asking. I survived the dentist yesterday,
Ah,
and I'm
good going.
celebrating that. Love my dentist. He's the best. Okie dokie. So, what you and I do is we answer questions. Well, I ask them, you answer them. And I do have them. How about
Oh,
that? So,
hey, big
huh?
surprise. Big
I know,
surprise.
huh? It's interesting. Women appreciate this, and it just warms my heart. Honestly, I get a lot of thank yous, and it warms my heart. It does, and I appreciate your time so much. We all do. So, okay, with that said, Dr. David Rosensweet, let me start off with number one. Okie dokie. So, this is odd because I had found out about this I found out about everything late. But question is, what happens to our HRT, CBHRT, meaning compounded bioidentical hormones, as in like estrogen supplementation when xenoestrogens block our receptors? Does our supplementation work, or does it just become useless and wash out of the body? And how would we even know?
Good question.
It is, huh?
Yeah.
Good morning.
The good news is, hello. I know your name,
I know her name too.
who just came on board here.
Aw,
Um,
that's love.
the most important thing about this question is we don't really need to know the molecular detail. The clinical process is the same.
Okay.
And the question was around xenoestrogens and are they giving us trouble or not? And the vast majority of women that enter menopause and seek treatment go through this process, and the very best thing that can possibly happen is the symptoms that have been giving them challenges are alleviated.
Okay.
We go through the process of prescribing and the woman applying compounded bioidentical hormones. And she usually starts out with symptoms like hot flashes and stuff, and a long list of them. And then in the course of applying these hormones, she starts feeling better. In fact, this is the big bingo. This is the thing we are looking for, where the woman says something like, "Oh my God, I feel myself again." And then we do a 24-hour urine hormone test that she confirms that she's on the right levels of biased, the estrogens, progesterone, testosterone, DHEA. That's the usual ritual.
Right.
A certain percentage of the time, this process does not go smoothly. We do logical stuff, and we're not getting the results we want.
Right.
And it's very, very unusual, even when there are challenges, to not eventually figure it out.
Operative
Why
word.
aren't we getting proper results? Like, for example, the woman's having hot flashes, and we give her estrogen, which is the usual cause of insufficient estrogen, is the usual cause of those hot flashes. Why isn't the estrogen working? Oh my goodness, we're even pushing the estrogen levels through treatment up pretty high, and it's not working. When things are not working, we start to investigate, why aren't they working? And one of the reasons that they may not be working, one of the more common things, is because of a past usage of birth control pill.
Yeah.
She had an elevation of something called the sex hormone binding globulin. So we figured that out. It's binding up the estrogens we're giving her. So that's a common example of a problem that's occurring, that we're not getting the usual and customary suspected results of starting hormones. Now, what about xenoestrogens? What are they to begin with? I'm going to tell you what they are to begin with.
Okay, let me just tell you, you're frozen, by the way.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, we can hear you, but you're frozen.
Hear me. Well, good. I can, mostly what I have this has only to do with what I'm going to say. So you can hear me okay? Well, the questioner was about, what about xenoestrogens? Are they giving us a problem?
Right.
And so I want to give a little background for those of you who don't know what xenoestrogens are. I think many of you do. It turns out that how the body works is the ovary puts out hormones, and those hormones travel around to the cells, and they link up with something inside the cell called receptor sites. So, for example, the hormone estradiol, estrogen, is produced by the ovary, or it's applied topically along with estriol in the form of bias, travels around to the cells and links up with a receptor site within the cell, an estrogen receptor site.
It's a conjugate.
Technically a conjugate refers to something else. They are conjugal. They are picking up those into the receptor site, and that's how the action takes place. Hormone plus receptor site. Well, for an estrogen receptor site, there are other things that interact with that receptor site. The only thing that can do it. Estrogen is the preferred thing, but if, for example, you give too much progesterone, which who makes that kind of mistake? I mean, someone who doesn't know what they're doing, but you could give someone way too much progesterone, and that excessive amount of progesterone would interact with the estrogen receptor site. Other things too. There's environmental toxic chemicals. Oi, Gewalt. These dinosaurs that have been under the earth and are brought up to the surface of the earth.
Doctor, I'm kind of, you're going in and out.
Plastic.
You're going in and out. I can't hear you, and you're not moving.
And the various things that they're converted into, like herbicides and pesticides.
Doctor, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
And all kinds of, pardon the medical term, this is a medical term. That's what.
I don't know if you can hear me, but I can't hear you and you're frozen.
I can use it. Pardon.
Oh, you guys, I'm sorry.
The crap that's in all of our household cleaning materials and dry cleaning materials and oh my God, these petrochemicals are all over the place. Okay, I'm going to try and do some things to help with that.